Hey, I'm Stephanie. And do you ever get that feeling when you're just trying to relax, maybe scrolling before bed or answering a text, and suddenly your phone reminds you that the sale ends tonight? You didn't ask to enter the mall. The mall came to you, and somehow it knows exactly what you've been thinking about. The serum you ran out of last week, the candle that you saw someone discuss in a video 2 days ago, even the dress you clicked on just to see what the color options were. You didn't wander into temptation. Temptation wandered into you, and it's not a coincidence. Most of us like to believe that we're immune to marketing, that we're too smart for it, but every ad, every influencer mention, every "did you forget this item in your cart" mail is the product of a system that has been studying us for years. It knows when we're tired, when we're bored, and when our willpower dips below 40%. And the scariest part is we invite that in. We all carry little marketing machines in our pockets, and they never sleep. Some people think that shopping too much is about weak self-control, and maybe that is part of it, but I think it's really more about what happens when the stores never close and algorithms keep the lights on 24 hours a day. Have you ever wondered why you can't stop shopping even when you want to? This one's for you. We'll look at how we got here, how our devices turned into tiny temptation factories, and more importantly, how to stop the cycle without having to throw your phone in a lake and move to the woods. So take a breath, put your wallet down for now, and let's see what's really behind all those glowing sale signs. So, how did the tools that were supposed to connect us to each other, phones, computers, tablets, turn into persistent pocket salespeople? Because they connect us to everything and everyone. These little thingamabobs track where we are, when we're there, who we're there with, what we watch, who we follow, and even what we say. Because I swear, even with every privacy setting toggled on, the moment I mention the new Danessa Myricks Lightwork palette anywhere near my phone, I'm flooded with ads for it. They connect everything. Every scroll, every like, every text, every moment of idle curiosity is another breadcrumb in a trail that leads straight back to checkout. So it's no wonder that overconsumption has become such a common struggle. Not only do we have constant access to stores, but we're now also constantly surrounded by finely tuned ads that don't even feel like ads. They feel like coffee with friends. And if you want to talk more about how that kind of marketing works, check out this video here. So let's talk about these tiny temptation factories. Our devices are basically running thousands of little experiments every single day on us. Every scroll, every pause, every second that we hover over a product photo becomes data. Some can even track where our eyes linger on the screen, and all of that information feeds the machine. Each action tells it something. That lipstick shade caught your eye? Noted. You replayed that haul clip twice? Okay, logged. You scrolled past that bronzer too quickly? Okay, not your vibe. We'll try blush next time. It's like having a personal shopper that you never hired, one who follows you around whispering things like, "I think you'd love this, and it's 20% off." And the eerie thing is, it's right just often enough to keep us hooked. The algorithms are getting really, really good at giving us what we've already taught them to give us. They learn our weak spots, the brands we trust, the tones we crave, the price points that make us say, "Oh, that's not too bad." It's pattern recognition optimized for temptation. And because the loop never stops, the recommendations, the reminders, the endless "you might also like this," it slowly rewires what feels normal, and shopping becomes background noise, just something that happens while you're waiting for the kettle to boil or for the scary part of the movie to start. That's how the mall moves in, and it stops being a place that you visit, and it starts becoming the wallpaper of your day. So if we know all this, then why do we still fall for it? Most of the time, I don't think it's because we're weak or shallow. It's because shopping gives us something that we're already looking for. Maybe not even in the items themselves, but in what they promise. Things like comfort, control, a sense of progress, even if it's just in a slightly smoother foundation or a prettier lipstick or a tidier home. And wanting things like comfort or progress isn't bad. Sometimes shopping simply feels like the easiest way to soothe discomfort. It rarely delivers on that promise, but that's where the marketing design comes in. Because those same systems that learned our habits also learned to recognize our emotions. They know that the moment we feel bored, uncertain, or off balance, that's when the just restocked ads will land best, when they feel like they're offering relief. A serum that promises balance, a candle that promises calm, a new lipstick that promises confidence. Each little add to cart feels like a micro fix, a way to regulate something that probably doesn't have anything to do with serums or candles at all. So when our stressed nervous system brushes up against an industry that's engineered to spot the exact moment that we'll want to self-soothe, it's no wonder that we impulse buy and then feel that quick dip of regret afterwards because we got bamboozled into it. That's why pure self-control never feels like quite enough. You can't out-discipline an algorithm that's built to predict when you're most likely to cave. But you can start noticing what's really being sold: peace, not products. And once you recognize that, you can start finding that peace in places that don't require a checkout button. So, if the system is built to outsmart us, then how do we outsmart the system? For me, it started with creating friction, gentle speed bumps that make me slow down long enough to notice what I'm doing. Because I found that if I can just go slowly enough, I make decisions that actually make me happier. We talk a lot about that on this channel in the form of the adagio mindset. I'm a musician, and in music, adagio means slow and with feeling. And that's how I try to shop now, to give myself more time to enjoy what I already have and more time to appreciate any new things I choose to bring in. So if you'd like to see more of that kind of joyful, slow buy content, then make sure to subscribe. But now let's get down to the nuts and bolts. How do we adagio our way out of the system? The first trick is in my inbox. I made a completely separate email address that is just for purchases and brand mailing lists. And that's where all the sale ends tonight and you left something in your cart messages go to live out their lives together in obscurity, away from my regular inbox and my eyeballs. I only log in when I actually need something, like to track a shipment or check for a discount if I'm refilling a product, and then I log right back out. No notifications, no pings, no guilt about all my abandoned cart babies. I'm sure they've all found good homes without me, their horrible cart mother. Next, I deleted almost every shopping app from my phone, and the few that have survived are silenced. No push notifications, no urgency disguised as opportunity, and I tucked them all onto the very last page of my phone. So even if a little red dot does appear, I don't see it. And then I stopped letting websites store my credit card information. It's mildly inconvenient, but that's exactly the point. Every time I have to type in the numbers, it gives me a few extra seconds to ask, do I really want to buy this? And since I can't remember my card number anymore, that usually means getting up to find the physical card, which often adds just enough friction to break the spell completely. I also separated my social media lives. YouTube is my favorite platform, obviously, so I made different accounts for different moods. Makeup is my personal kryptonite, so I don't open my Style Stumbler account when I'm just trying to relax. Instead, I switch to my other accounts, the ones where I listen to science podcasts, or watch art channels, or explore camera tutorials. Those keep me inspired without triggering my add to cart reflex. And when I do log into my beauty account, I treat it like I'm training my pet algorithm. If a video feels tempting to me in the wrong way, I simply click not interested. And instead, I search for creators who make beauty feel calm, creative, and sustainable. It took a bit of time and effort to get things the way I wanted them to be, and it does require maintenance, but it's worth it in the long run, and I have the credit card statements to prove it. This summer, I tried something new. I stopped browsing altogether. During my No Buy July, one of my rules was simple: no browsing. Not online, not in stores, no window shopping of any kind. And at first it felt strange because browsing had long been my comfort habit. But after a few days, I realized that not browsing was actually more soothing. The fewer new things that I saw, the fewer new things I wanted. If you want to read more about how that experiment went, I documented the whole thing in my free blog over on Patreon, so I'll link that here and in the show notes. These little shifts don't stop the ads from existing, but they do keep the marketing from constantly haunting me, and they keep them all outside the house. And over time, that is how you start to out-bamboozle the bamboozler. The mall isn't going anywhere, the ads will keep coming, the algorithms will keep humming, and the sale probably will still end tonight. But that doesn't mean that we're powerless. We can keep them all outside the house by taking small, concrete steps to limit our exposure, and we can give ourselves more time to make better decisions by adding a little friction back into the process. And I've also found that taking a moment of gratitude for what I already have before buying something new always puts things into perspective. Sometimes it reminds me that I already have what I need. And other times it makes me even more excited to buy something because I know it will be a thoughtful purchase that will add value. The key is taking the time to think it through and making sure that you're the one deciding and not an algorithm. The point isn't to stop wanting things or to stop shopping. It's to remember that we can want things and shop on our own terms. And sometimes just slowing down helps us get there. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe, and you might like my video about my personal overshopping history here. Thanks for hanging out, and to all of my patrons and channel members, including my Adagio angels, for making content like this possible. I hope we can all remember that even stumbling can be a form of moving forward. So let's stumble in style.